to be. A couple of days after Carol died, Master Hector of the Black Hut, Arthur McLean, one day, sent me a piece that he had written for her. And I'd really like to read it for you. Bring my wife back in tonight. The skalds and priests tell us that the bright gods live in Asgard, where they keep their halls. And the greatest of these is Odin's hall, Valhalla. Here, Odin Allfather hosts warriors slain in battle. The spirits of these mighty slain are carried from the field by the Valkyries to Odin's presence, where he offers them mead and hears tales of their deeds. And each dawn, these Einherjar, these heroes, march through Valhalla's 540 doors into its mighty forecourt. And then they fight on ground still wet with the blood of yesterday's combat. There they lay sword on sword and axe on axe, that they might remain skilled in battle. For the bright gods ever look to Ragnarok and strive to create the greatest possible companies of warriors to follow them into the jaws of hell. And when only one remains standing before Valhalla, Odin rewards that day's mightiest of the immortal slain with a gold ring of Draupnir. Then the Allfather sounds his horn mercifully, and all the fallen rise and all wounds heal, and the Einherjar march back through the 540 doors of Valhalla for a night of feasting and tale-telling, awaiting the next day's practice for the end of the world. As you can imagine, the bright gods observe these practices with great interest, for the mightiest of the Einherjar will stand close by their sides at Ragnarok, and none more keenly than the Allfather. One spring day, not long ago, Odin Allfather noted that some of his mightiest heroes were not in the ranks of battle. This was strange. Stranger still were more absences the next day, and yet more the day after. Heimdall attested that none had attempted to leave Asgard via Bifrost. The missing were within Asgard's mighty walls. So the Allfather began to search. Now each bright god has a hall, and each fills it with heroes, that he may have shoulder companions worthy of song at Ragnarok. Odin searched Vingolf, the pleasant hall of wine and welcome, but saw no familiar hard faces. Nor were they in Thrudheim, hall of mighty Thor, nor in Forseti's shiny hall of Glitnir. So Odin set Huginn and Munin, his servant ravens, to circle Asgard and report where the missing had gone. The carrion birds did as bid, and came back to the Allfather's shoulders, where they whispered their truth in his ready ears. And it was thus Odin Allfather set off to Fensalir. Fensalir is the hall of Frigga, the Allfather's wife. She had her hall raised in the low, wet part of Asgard, that she might be close to the moors, mists, and their magic. Excuse me. Odin made his way to this far corner of Asgard, for thus had the ravens directed him. And Odin Allfather came to Fensalir, its doorposts graven with cunning runes of power and wisdom, and he could see warm firelight within. But Odin could not enter, for there was no room. Odin saw his Einherjar, and others besides, sitting and standing and hanging in the rafters. Every door was blocked, every patch of floor occupied. The Allfather's one eye blazed as he leaned to see the front of the hall, and there in the high seat was Frigga, his wife, and at the foot of the seat was a stool, and sitting proudly on the stool was a tale-teller, small of stature but most noble in bearing. Flame red was her hair, and her garment was scarlet with a girdle of purple with royal gold buckles. She sat straight, her head upright, and her gaze keen. And then she spoke, and all in the hall listened. She told of men and gods, of heroes and fools. She told of many deeds of glory, and a few deeds better left forgotten. She spoke, and heroes cheered, or laughed, or raged, or wept. She spoke as skalds wish in vain to speak, as poets dream of reciting. She spoke of deeds true and truer truths, greater truths. She never moved, and yet she was able to reach and touch the hearts of all who heard her. And Odin was amazed. The Allfather and his wife came to an agreement that Frigga's treasured skald would be shared, moving among the various halls of Asgard, that all the Einherjar might be able to hear her without leaving their companies and missing their daily practice. And so it is. But on a warm day, when it rains softly and there is no thunder, you can know that the Einherjar do not wage war, but sit silent in Valhalla, listening to the tale of Tyr's missing hand, and the mighty weep softly for the beauty of the telling.
Woo!
Thank you.
When word reached me, I was traveling out west. It took a couple of weeks before I was ready to write. And as I traveled homeward, I had been brewing phrases and sentences and was ready to start. And I picked up my phone to dictate to it, and just as I started, I noticed the exit I was passing in far eastern New Mexico.
Huh?
The exit for Bard. In the hall of the Heartland, the people sit soundless, waiting for word gift of that teller of tales. Stitched well she sagas of Aesir and Ashkin. The strength of her stories could silence a storm. Many lands called her guest friend and laid honors upon her. Her students are scattered in countless Jarl's halls. Her lessons were long sought. Her word gold grew scald's groves. Some now wear leaf's crown, others yet will. As we lift song in keening, our hearts are still broken. Yet know what she'd tell us. The tale must go on.
Hi. Good to see you, Prince. Thank you.
Would you send me a copy, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.